We're picking up the big 613. Okay, I guess I better get out and direct him on. Scraper without brakes is sheer fun. Thank God he's got a park brake. That actually works. You gotta get the rear wheels up on the bolster on the trailer and then hit the park brake button. Oh Lord. I wanna go home and take a nap. Nap time for Jeffrey. Hey everybody, want to talk about some subscribers again this week. Bruce Mallison from Pittsburgh Power. Thanks for the hat, Bruce. That's awesome. Bruce does high performance diesel stuff. And I discovered him years and years ago when he was building high performance Cummins stuff. Check him out at www.pittsburghpower.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. Truck driver from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I'll leave a link to his channel. Let me show you a picture of something I took up there, and then later on he took a video of it. Anyway, I went to Coeur d'Alene several years ago and rode the Coeur d'Alene Trail on bicycles with my wife. And I saw that outhouse 9 miles in the air, so I just had to take a picture of it. Anyway, truck driver was up there doing a little logging job, and so he took a video of it. It was pretty cool. Matt Wilson from Bothwell, Ontario. Matt says he doesn't miss heavy haul, so I'm assuming, Matt, you did a lot of heavy haul. Barry Davis from Port. Okay, that's P-I-R-E. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in Australia. Is it Pierre? Anyway, it's in South Australia. Thanks for subscribing, Barry. Peter Mundy. He's also from Australia. He's a Vietnam vet. Thank you for your service, Peter. John Douglas Dawson. He's been in the building trade for 50 years in the United Kingdom. Darren Harlow and Daniel Rowe, also from the UK. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Oh, on a side note, Jeffy's been sick. Jeffy had to go to the doctor and get a whole bunch of antibiotics because apparently I got some kind of bad bacteria in my stomach. So if this video is a little bit late, that's why I've been a little bit under the weather. Okay, I've got Kenworth in the shop and we got to do a little work to her. I've got a really bad oil leak in here, and then I'm leaking down here on the fuel pump and back here on the power steering pump. My front seal's leaking. I may have to put in a new front seal. And I've got some leaking going on up here on this fence. I've got a bad leak. It looks to me like it's coming out of this gasket or under this plug-in right here. I think that's where it's coming from. And so probably reseal the rocker covers and kill any oil leaks there. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to pull the air compressor off if it's the gasket under here. I'm hoping it's not this gasket, because if it is, all I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that up and silicone it. I really don't want to take this apart right now, so I think that's what I'll do. Then I've got to reseal the retarder. And this C15 has a hydraulic engine retarder on it, and between the retarder and the C brake, which is Cat's Jake brake, this is supposed to, I think, give you 700 horsepower of retarding capability, and I know it works really well, but we haven't been able to use the retarder because this truck has 620,000 miles on it now. It did not have the C brake on it when I bought it, so all they had was the retarder, and it was a Robinson coal hauler truck out of Utah, southern Utah, and so they pulled a lot of grades. Anyway, apparently after this many miles and that much use, it's kind of cooked the O-rings because she's really started to leak. So we were afraid to use it for fear we'd blow an O-ring out and have a mess. So in order to do that, I've got to pull the transmission off and the flywheel to get to all that retarder stuff. I'm going to replace these twin turbos, and I'm going to go to a single, and I bet you can't guess what I'm going to put on here. Yep, that's right. I'm putting a switchblade on this bad boy. Anyway, if you want one of these cool turbochargers for your Cat, Cummins, your Harley Davidson, your Cummins diesel pickup, whatever, call these guys. They're in Kansas. Blaylock Turbo. Just Google them. I'll put a link to his website below. I need your opinion on this. Okay, I kind of really like the way the Kenworth, the W900s look with the battery box over here on this side. It's not really for the batteries, but you turn it into a toolbox. I'd love a place to store some stuff where people can't get to it and steal it. And so what I was thinking was about moving this tank back here the same as it is on the other side, and then put the battery box there, or leave the tank there and just buy an aluminum box with either a top open lid or like a side open door. Which would you rather have, a top open or like the front side of it open? Which one seals better and keeps the junk out? So anyway, that's what we want to do. We're probably, in order to get the tranny out of there, oh, I forgot to mention, possibly going to put an 18 speed in. If I'm going to pull that 10 speed out, I might as well go get an 18 speed and put in there. So I don't have like a floor lift for this, so I'm thinking the only way that you can get that tranny out of there is to remove that fuel tank so that it'll come out on a jack. And I don't have a big tranny jack, so I'm going to make a cradle for one of my smaller jacks. Either that or I got to go buy or borrow one. So anyway, let's see. The other thing I got to do is my AC compressor. The front seal's starting to leak on it pretty bad. So I'll probably exchange that and get a reman one for that. And let's see. My CB's not working well, so I've got a new cable. I think it's messed up on the back of the radio where it plugs in. Oh goody, I didn't notice this. My antenna's all bent. That's what trees do. I hate trees. I wish they'd trim them. I'm just getting tired of this. I've got a stack that's bent back. This right hand stack is bent back just a little farther than the one on the other side from a tree encounter driving down the road. So anyway, we're going to do some work on the Kenworth. And when we get done with the Kenworth, then the D9's coming in. We'll pop the heads off it and get working on it. These are my lowboy ramps that I built for this truck. And one of my subscribers up in Montana, Knox Pilati, he wants to put a set on his truck, so he was asking me about it. So this is what I did, Knox. I had to cut the frame on a, or did I? I can't really tell what I did there. Yeah, I cut the frame on this angle down to here, and then whatever you do when you build these, use a good high tensile steel. This I believe was called grade 50, and it's held up pretty well. I probably should have used something a little better, but if you just use mild steel, it will not hold up. Anyway, I put a 4x4 tube in the back, and then I put a hitch receiver in there so I can pull things if I need to, or hook a chain to it, the back end of the truck. Anyway, all I did to make this was I took some cardboard and I laid it out on here, and I just cut these pieces right here. So on these ramps, what I've got in here is this piece over the frame is a chunk of angle iron, is what this is. And now I remember, it comes down here. So I just put a piece of angle iron on that, and then this piece, and then I've got an inside one. So this is doubled up so that these are out fairly close to the edge. There's just one bead here, but that gives you support on the edge so they can't roll over. And then back here, I cut this out, and this looks like 3/8. So this is 3/8 steel, and I brought it up into here, and I bolted it through the frame, and I just went through the same holes that this cross member goes through. And so I like this ramp down nice and low like this, because I can get under some stuff clear down into here and make it slide up. And you can see where I've hit it clear down here trying to get under trailers. And these are really handy if you've got a trailer that the landing gear is sunk in the ground. You can let the air out of the bags, drop the truck down and back under, and raise the trailer up. So they're really handy for that. And then on your fifth wheel, you're going to have a chunk of no man's land in here. So what you want to do is take some flat bar under here and weld it in for a support, and then cut you a piece to fit this and weld it on there. And then your rollers just come up on here, and they have to roll onto your fifth wheel right here. And my Cat mud flaps, Cat diesel power mud flaps. And I had these are Hogue built fenders, and they were really nice when I got it. But unfortunately, the tanker and the belly dump, when you'd get it really tipped, would gouge them up and hit them. And so it's kind of crapped them up. But here's another effect of the mag chloride. You can see what it does to the frame. It just eats the paint right up and then starts corroding under here. So at some point I'm gonna have to probably start taking some of these components off and blast the frame and paint it up, because you can see the damage it does, and it just makes it look terrible. And so you really have to paint this with an epoxy paint like urethane to make it hold up. There's my awesome banner. And I got the man lift in here. I need to start working on some lights. With these lights in here, it's awesome. It's so nice and bright. You can work on stuff and see. And it's just, I really love the brightness of them, but I'm really getting tired of replacing ballasts. And so the power company sent me a deal about they'd come out and maybe help with some of the cost if I would switch over to an LED light. And so maybe that's what I need to do, is just switch them out to an LED. The ballasts just aren't lasting. I might get a year, maybe 2 out of them, and then I'm replacing them. And you're paying anywhere from $27 to $32 for a ballast. So not really what I want to do. So anyway, we're going to be working on the truck in the shop for the next week or so.